Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Well, since this is a holiday week, I decided that instead of doing a market update on Thursday, I want to take a broader look and take a look at how the market has changed year over year. I know when you live and breathe this industry, it's pretty easy to miss the small ups and downs in the market. So let's take a look at where we are today versus this time last year to see whether the market actually got a little bit better, a little bit worse, or stayed the same. Ready? Let's go. So first, let's start with the general market in terms of capacity or how many net carriers, net MC numbers we have lost. So in 2023, we actually lost a net of 23,832 carriers. Now, in 2024, this year, it's actually half the amount. We lost a net of 12,528 carriers this year with still a week to go. Now, if we put aside the comparison of 2023 versus 2024, these net losses seem like huge numbers, especially considering that one MC can have between 1 to 150 or more trucks operating under it. However, I want to show you a chart that will show up right here. If we look from the standpoint of total trucking authorities in the market for the past 5 years, well, here is the chart. Look at how quickly capacity increased from 2020 until 2022 and how slowly, relatively speaking, it is leaving since 2022. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the exiting capacity right now has absolutely no effect on the market. The capacity crunch is definitely having an effect on the percentage of rejected freight. So take a look at this chart. We are seeing the highest rejection percentage in the last 2 years at 10.16% as of right now. Yes, the holiday will have something to do with the spike in rejection rates right now, but the increase in rejections has been steadily occurring since October, which is when we started seeing higher rejection than in the past 2 years. Now, if we talk about volumes in the general market, I'm going to show you another chart right here. This is general market volumes that you can see are currently dropping, also a seasonally normal thing. Dark blue is us in 2024. But if you look at the past 2 years, the other two lines, you can see that volumes this year are actually pretty resilient, although lower than this time in 2023, which is the pink line. Now, the big question is, of course, is any of this data actually translating to the experiences of the contract market and the spot market, the carriers who work those markets? Well, contract carriers are definitely not seeing any improvement right now. That's for certain. Actually, what they are seeing is that their rates are getting squeezed and they are inching closer to what the spot market pays. So let me show you this chart. Now, this chart shows you the difference between what spot carriers get paid and what contract carriers get paid. And you can see that this line is getting higher and higher, which basically means that the difference between contract rates and spot rates is just getting smaller and smaller. Now, this, by the way, could also explain why rejections are climbing. As contract carriers are getting squeezed on the rates that they're able to get, some of them are leaving the industry altogether. Others are choosing possibly a better alternative to the load that they're contracted to haul. Because remember, contract rates are also called paper rates. So the carrier can easily say, you know what, I'm not going to haul this load. Now, this is, by the way, not just a theory that as contract carriers get closer to the spot market, rejection rates increase. Usually, this is exactly what happens. Contract carriers reject more freight, rejection levels increase, so more freight ends up on the spot market. And of course, as more volume hits the spot market, rates do tend to go up. Let me show you a chart that shows exactly this. So the blue is the spot to contract rate and the orange is the rejections. And what you can see is that they literally move together. And if you look at the dates closely, you know, where there is a peak in rejections and the contract carriers are getting paid sometimes even less than spot carriers, this is the time between July 2020 to February 2022, which is when the spot rates were at their highest. Okay, so according to these charts, we should be seeing some improvement in the spot market, right? Well, the data does show that spot market volumes are up for the three main equipment types: dry vans, reefers, and flatbeds. I'm going to read you off some numbers. 20% up for dry vans in terms of spot market volume, 14% up for reefers, and 48% up for flatbeds. Now, this increase in volume makes absolute sense because as rejections increase, of course, the amount of volume that falls to the spot market also increases. But remember how I said that higher rejections usually mean higher rates on the spot market because, technically speaking, higher volume will offset the load to truck ratio. Is this happening right now? Well, unfortunately, not really. So according to the data, and this is FTR's data, dry van rates are up about 3% year over year. Reefer rates are up 3.6% year over year, but flatbeds actually saw a 2% decrease in the average rate per mile from the spot market year over year. So what gives? The spot market is broken. Well, no, there could be a couple of reasons for this. The first possibility is the fact that capacity on the spot market did not change by much, or maybe even increased in the case of flatbeds, for example. So what ends up happening is, despite the fact that the volume increased, since capacity increased as well, yeah, it's not going to give you a great rate per mile because there's still a ton of competition. Now, this is very possible actually, and it didn't have to come from new MC numbers. We actually know, and we have talked about it, that mega carriers are getting squeezed so much on the contract side that some of them are allocating capacity to the spot market where they feel they have a better chance of earning money. And of course, mega carriers, it's not just one truck, it's a ton of them. That adds to capacity, and of course that can keep the rates on the spot market suppressed. Now, the other reason the spot market is not reacting in terms of rates as much as we think it should is more psychological. It has more to do with the human factor. Could it be that people are so used to the market being so crap and they are so jaded by the fact that they're constantly losing in negotiations that they continue accepting those cheap rates, not fully grasping the idea that, hey, right now is the time where you can actually negotiate? Yeah, that is very possible, and the two are not mutually exclusive. There might be not as much capacity leaving the spot market, but there also might be that human factor, and they're working together. I have realized lately that even as a flatbed carrier that saw a 2% decrease in rates, it is becoming easier to negotiate with brokers, even though the load board is offering rates that pay like absolute crap. So my piece of advice is take the posted rate with a grain of salt and always negotiate. Don't be scared of losing that load. So yeah, guys, this is what I have for you today. What are you guys seeing on the spot market, on the contract market? Are you having an easier time or a harder time negotiating? You know, it's funny. It reminds me of this video I saw that I will post down below for those of you who are interested in seeing. It's a little experiment someone did. He took an ant, put it on a white piece of paper, and took a Sharpie and drew a circle around the ant. And the ant, thinking that this is a barrier, would not cross that black circle, even though if it did, it would be completely free. So my advice is don't be the ant and don't let those posted rates be your circle. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining and watching today. For those of you who do celebrate, I wish you a very Merry Christmas. For those of you who do not celebrate Christmas, then happy holidays. Wishing you all a fantastic rest of your week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep learning. See you in the next video.